if you know your trees, you'll have an idea of what tree this leaf is off. Of course, it's horse chestnut, conker tree, sometimes more commonly known as. Scientific name, if I remember right, is Aesculus hippocastaneum. Could be wrong. It's a long time since I did plants and trees. And this leaf is very rare. So they're all saying now, well, it's even more stupid and daft than what we thought. It's now saying that a common tree like horse chestnut, that its leaf is very rare. Well, this leaf is. And I'll tell you why. It's because it's been unaffected by a species that came into the UK as recently as 2002. The species in question is a leaf mining moth, called appropriately the horse chestnut leaf miner. So, whereas up until 2002, or in about 2007 in Nottinghamshire, if you looked at a horse chestnut tree, this was the leaf you saw. Nice and green and unaffected. We'll chuck that leaf and we'll look at the horse chestnut leaf that you're likely to see today. This is the damage done by the horse chestnut leaf miner. Cameraria oridella is the scientific name. It was first discovered near to Macedonia in 1985, but apparently it had been known from Greece in about 1970. It had been unnamed, if I remember right, for some reason. And for some reason, after 1985, it went balmy through Europe, rampaged through Europe. Say reached Wimbledon, I think it was, in the UK in 2002. We started looking for it in 2005 and found it at Nettleworth Manor, Mansfield Woodhouse, in 2007, I think it was. I think it was August, July or August anyway. We did a lot of survey work for this, did this in myself following that, and we found trees that had this amount of infestation on it at Cornton. Bearing in mind that was the infestation at Cornton, and that was probably the infestation on most leaves, or on a few leaves, say at Nettleworth Manor Woodhouse. So this is the damage that this leaf miner can do. Inside each of these, between the ribs, is one mine of each caterpillar. So if you want to freeze frame this, in the comments below this you can always tell me exactly how many mines are on this leaf. Perhaps do that on a winter's night when you've got no to do. But one of the big problems with horse chestnut leaf miner is that it's not just single brooded, it can be triple brooded. So infestations soon become to this scale. And now, the familiar site to identify horse chestnuts is this. By late June and early July, this is how they look. It almost appears like they're drying up and dying in autumn. At the moment, there's nothing to suggest that the horse chestnut leaf miner is doing any long-term damage to horse chestnuts, but it must do ultimately, because the tree, if you look at this tree, there's no new leaves on, so the trees aren't putting any new leaves on to combat the surface area that's lost for the tree. If it was continually having to put new growth on to compensate for the damage caused, that puts an enormous strain on the tree, and it's doubtful whether the tree could maintain that for years to come. But even tree leaves at the back down there, look, are incredibly affected. And the whole tree is, usually it's the lower branches worse, and it gets progressively less as you go up. You might be able to make out the difference between there and the infestation levels there. And so it's horse chestnut leaf miner. It's only got like most leaf miners, it has a wingspan less than a centimetre. It's been able to fly and make its way across Europe, across the Channel, and up through the country at a great rate of knots. Breeds continuously during the spring and summer, so it will have three broods. And at one time it was only the white flowered horse chestnuts that were affected, but after a few years even the red flowered horse chestnuts became affected, and he'll occasionally use sycamore. I think I've seen them on another plant, another tree as well. It might be sweet chestnut, but I've certainly seen odd minds on sycamore. But ultimately, what awaits the fate of the horse chestnut in the UK is unknown. Nothing can be done about the infestation rate caused by this moth. And every horse chestnut tree you see now throughout Nottinghamshire will be at this level. Say at one time, the only place in 2007 when we started travelling all around looking for where this moth was, Cornton and Oxton had high infestation rates, but now everywhere is the same. And it's not going to go away. And where's this tree? It's at Eden Vale. We've even seen a young sapling that somehow got in the middle of Sherwood Forest and was only about 2-3 feet high with a few leaves on it, tucked in amongst all the oaks. And yep, you guessed it, even that was affected. So it's like the harlequin ladybird and other incredibly invasive species. It's here to stay. Can't do anything about it. All we can do is wait and see what happens. So that's a little bit about the horse chestnut leaf miner.